Welcome back, YouTube, to another Money Per Hour grind series here in Black Desert Online. So today we're going to be looking at grinding here at Blood Wolves Settlement. And yeah, I mean, this is typically a new player spot. And I say typically because I was just here. And, you might encounter high gear score players at times, especially because the pot piece drops here. But there is a Marni realm that you can go in if the main rotation is taken. So in this video, I'll show you kind of where the spot is located, the different rotations, and then any mechanics, and then finally looking at the loot. Also, this is really not a guide on how to make the potion piece, but more so kind of looking at how much potential silver could you make at the spot. But I will link a very useful guide down in the description from Garmoth that you can walk through the steps of making the potion piece. But yeah, and then just a quick disclaimer. This video is geared towards a person who may be checking out the spot for the first time or maybe revisiting the spot. So, your money per hour probably is going to be a little less, but I'll talk about the potential average money per hour that most people are kind of getting. Also, I'm not perfect, so if I happen to leave anything out that you think is important for this spot, then let us know down in the comments. But with that being said, let's jump right on in. So this spot is going to be near Dubakrin, which if I zoom out here into the map, you can see that main city is right over here. And then there's also another city close by this one, which actually I think this one's closer. This is the one that I've been going to like sell my stuff on the central marketplace. But yeah, this is kind of the location. And if I zoom all the way out, you can see that Heidel is right over in this area. So honestly, it's a really kind of a pretty biome here at Blood Wolves. So rotation, there are a bunch of different rotations here at Blood Wolves, but I'll show you where I usually park my horse, and then I'll show you the main rotation outside of Marni Realm, and then the rotation in the Marni Realm. Which remember, if someone is in this spot, which it can get pretty congested, you can always try to find an open spot by server hopping, or, if that's not successful, then you can always do the Marni realm. So I will show you all of that now.
The sky is all around me, red moon rises above, grinding away my night. That blood wolves loose like swift and keen wolves howl in the dark. Every swing feels so clean, leaving my mark. Blood wolves fall tonight.
So gear, let me pull up the Monster Zone info here at this spot. And so when we pull this up and we look at view total stats, you can see that the AP, the recommended total AP is 300 and the DP is 150 and the restricted is 312. You can obviously see I am way, way over the recommended stats here, right? So this is definitely a low entry spot. So mechanics, there's really no specific mechanics at this spot. You're just going to grind in a circle. So pretty easy peasy. However, before you start, you're going to want to make sure that you pick up the weekly quest here for those extra pity pieces. And then when possible, you're going to want to try to focus on the elites for that higher loot drop chances, and then focusing on a specific mob called the executioners, which this mob drops the pot pieces or even the actual raw drop, which the main rotation that I showed you earlier has most of those specific mobs in it. And then there's also one event that will happen randomly where a dragon, I guess Garmoth, will spawn and he'll probably actually scare the crap out of you at first if you're not really paying attention. And you can't damage him, but at a certain point, a box will spawn on the ground, and essentially you just destroy it to get the loot. Uh, Let me go ahead and show you those specific mobs that I was telling you about earlier, like the executioner. So you can see here, right? So this guy right here is the mob that you're going to want to focus on to get the potion pieces or even the raw drop. And then over here, this is kind of the other mob that's the elite. And so, trying to maximize the variety of executioners and this elite into your rotation is just going to further help you, make more money per hour. So buffs, I mean, this is such a low entry spot that honestly just running a cron mill and an alchemy stone, should be completely fine. You could, either do the simple craw mill, or if you're over geared, then the exquisite mill, for those extra juicy stats. For the alchemy stone, I'm running Bell's Heart, but really any alchemy stone could be beneficial that has like the AP aspect. If you want to go overkill, then you could do like church buffs, tent buffs, frenzy drought. Only if maybe you're not killing the mobs in one hit. But I would just say, simple cron mill and your alchemy stone buff should be plenty at this spot. Of course, put on the AP monster artifacts with really any PvE lightstone combination. This spot demi-human damage is going to be important. Now, this is what I'm running, but it's probably again not the most efficient lightstone combination for this spot. The artifacts that I have is the best in slot, but like I said, the AP monster artifacts is completely fine at this spot. So drops. So I have the Monster Zone info pulled up, and you can see that there's a lot of drops here at this spot. So your inventory space can fill up pretty quickly. We'll go through these really quick. So the first one, the Manos Craftsman's Clothes. This is a pretty rare drop. I've never had this drop ever, but yeah, you can see you can sell on the market for close to 100 million. Then we have the artifacts here. And so, if you are kind of a newer-ish player, then you may need these for your specific build. But if not, you can just do simple alchemy and process these down into the purified light stones, which you can sell on the market for a pretty good price. Then you have the Eye of the Ruins ring. It's a rare drop, but it does drop pretty frequently. Uh, you can see here on the market it sells for 10 million. So these used to be a lot worth a lot more, but not so much. And then you have the armors here, which, again, you can just sell these on the marketplace, or you can just feed them to your fairy. But, some of these items on here, especially the ring, they'll just kind of sit for a while before they sell. And then dropping down below, we have the Spectre's Energy. I sell this because I'm just lazy, but you can use this to craft like Black Star, like armor or weapons. So I would advise to keep it, but I sell mine. Then you have the Black Stones. You can use these for enhancing your gear, or you can turn these into like fail stacks. This piece here. So this specific drop, I'm gonna call it CAG, will net you a lot of money, right? So this is kind of the item that will give you kind of the most potential money at this spot. And so if this doesn't drop, then your money per hour is definitely not as good. Okay. So, but essentially this right here, you need this and a black magic crystal in order to make either the dark red fang crystal Valor or armor, and those sell for about 4 to 500 million on the market, depending, right? It's market depending. But yeah, this is a really important drop if you want to make the most potential money. Then you have some crystals here, the Whom, the combined magic crystal Whom, and then the other Gervish crystal here. These, again, these kind of just sit on the market. They'll sell eventually, but they sit on the market. Then you have the Mass of the Pure Magic, which is used to enhance that Black Star gear. The Blood Wolf's Oath. So this is the pity piece that drops, right? So you need 100 of these and then another ingredient in order to get the Ash Half Moon uh, potion piece here. And so when you're calculating your money per hour, especially on Garmoth, these are rated pretty up there, right? So Garmoth takes these into account. Obviously, it's not really giving you kind of that liquidated silver. It's more of just kind of an investment, unless you need the potion piece, of course. So you got to take that into counter here. And then this right here, so this is the actual raw drop, which it can raw drop here, but most of the time, most people will have to get 100 of these in order to make this. Then you have the Marni's research box, which is pretty rare to drop. I actually did have one drop when I was here, but essentially you get kind of a filled up stone here, which I think I still have mine. Yeah, here it is. Or no, wait, that's the Manchums. Well, anyway, okay, I take that back. I did not get the Blood Wolves Great Marnie Stone here. I got the Manchum one, but there is a Blood Wolves one here, and so you'll just need to fill this up, and then you have a chance to get a pretty juicy accessory potentially. Going back to the drops here. Um, Garmov scale, yeah. So you could see it's so crazy to see the price differences on these because when I was here quite a few years ago, these were only selling for like 400,000. Now you can see they're like 1.6 million. And so essentially, you can sell this on the market, or you can use this for creating like crystals, and there's probably other uses as well. Then you have the Caphras stone, right, which you can use these to kind of enhance your gear, right? So you need Caphras level 10 in order to get your in-game gear piece, right? And of course you need a flame too. But yeah, you can sell these on the market, or if you need to put these into your gear, you can do that as well. And then you have the Dragon Scale Fossil, which you can sell it on the marketplace for 378,000 currently, or you can exchange these to get fail stacks. Then you're gonna get the Blackstone bundles, which you'll just get a bundle, you'll click it, and then you'll just get a bunch of these. Then you have the main weapon box, the weapon box. Yeah, so these, it's just kind of trash, honestly. You can sell them or throw them away. The ancient spirit dust. So you need 5 spirit dust and 1 blackstone to make 1 Caphra. Okay. So just another good way to make a little bit extra money. You have the secondary trash here, 5,960. And then you have the primary trash, Blood Wolf Main, 7,764. And then you have the black energy residue. And so this is actually decently important. So you want to make sure you try to keep this and don't throw this away because later down the road, especially if you are a newer-ish player, right, you're going to have to get, Garmoth's heart, right? And in order to turn your Garmoth's heart into an inverted Garmoth's heart, unless you buy it on the marketplace, of course, but in order to turn into the inverted, you're going to need a lot of the black energy residue, okay, which you use this right here to craft a specific crystal at a workshop here in Duvakrin and then you combine that in order to get your inverted Garmoth heart, right? And so, that's just kind of like an in-game type of aspect there. And so you need two inverted Garmoth hearts, right? You need one for your awakening weapon and then one for your sub weapon. And so you need a lot of this stuff. So don't moral of the story is don't throw it away. And then next here you have the trace of the nature, which, with this drop, you can use this to craft various things here in the game. Now let's see what I got in 1 hour with just using a level 2 loot scroll. You can also pay 50 million to get the tent buff or a 50% increase on your drop rate, but I did not do that those at the 2 hours that I was here just because there was already a drop rate event going on. But it may be worth it, especially if your main goal is to get the potion piece here and or the raw drop rather than, the money. Also, your class will have an effect on the amount of trash loot that you get. And if you don't have tier 4 pets, that will also have a factor in it as well. I used Musa here just because of the insane mobility plus the tag event is going on. So I was able to take advantage of that. But let's take a look at Garmoth here. So the potential average money per hour at 138% drop rate, which is what I'm mostly at, if there is no drop rate event going on. And with the yellow loot scroll is 700 million with the average trash being around 12.2k. So, that's something that you can potentially expect once you're efficient with the rotation and, playing the proper class that is high mobility. Also, again, it's important to note that your money per hour is really going to vary based on that drop rate. Now let's take a look at the hours that I was here, which only did 2 hours, with this spot, and I did it with Awakening Musa, which if I used my striker, I wouldn't have got as much trash. And remember, my AP is pretty high, so if you have lower AP, then you can potentially expect less money. But my first hour at 267% drop rate was a whopping 2.1 billion. Yeah, and 15.5k trash. Now, if we take away the pity pieces, I got around 1.8 billion, right? Which obviously, that money came from the 4 drops of the CAG tunic. Probably butchered that pronunciation. But that's the just a still an insane amount of money for such a low gear score area, right? Then my second hour was 1 billion and with 15.2k trash. Then if you take the pity pieces out, then it would be around 670 million. And if I take out the Cagdenic dropout, and if we don't count the pity pieces, then you're really looking at 250 million an hour. So it's not very good, consistent money, and honestly, really the only way to make that insane money is going to be that RNG chance of the Cagdenic drop, which again sells for about 400 to 500 million once you combine it with that specific crystal with it. But yeah, I mean, it's just going to vary based on that drop, But if you're a new player, then the money potential is not bad. It's really not bad, But at the end of the day, you're really coming to the spot for the potion piece. But let me know down in the comments, have you tried this spot out? I'm sure you've tried this spot out, right? And if so, what numbers are you pulling here? Are you getting insane money like I did my first hour here? So yeah, let me know down in the comments. But hey, with that being said, thanks for watching. If you like the content, then hit that like button. And here is another video that you can check out if you're bored. But hey, I will see you next time, YouTube. Peace.
Sunsets on black desert sky. It's just you and I. Weapons ready.